Trigger warning. The following podcast contains content that may be deeply disturbing. You will hear first-hand accounts from parents and family members who have lost children to filicide, the murder of a child by a parent or caregiver. These stories are raw, emotional, and shared from the perspective of those who have lived them. They include details of unimaginable loss, system failures, and trauma. Please take care while listening. If at any point you need to pause, stop, or step away, we understand. Welcome to Voices Against Filicide. I'm your host, Hope Hooton, a mother who has walked this journey and an advocate turning my pain into purpose. This podcast sheds light on filicide cases, statistics, who these children were, and the advocacy being done in their honor, and so much more. Together, we speak the truth, honor their lives, and fight for change. Before we go any further, I want to take a moment to honor two of the brightest lights I've ever known, my children, Alec and Lydia. Alec with his love for Pokemon and his kind heart, and Lydia full of joy and her love of unicorns. They were my whole world. They were joy in human form. Their laughter, their hugs, their imaginations, all of it lives on in me and in this podcast and in the work I do every day to spread awareness and protect children. This podcast is for them. It's for every child whose voice was silenced too soon. Alec and Lydia, you are my why, and I will never stop fighting in your name. Thank you for joining me today. And let's get right into today's episode. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about warning signs being missed in filicide cases. I've had a lot of questions when the filicide case with Alec and Lydia happened to me of what could have been done differently, what was missed. And honestly, everything was missed. If you missed that episode about me talking about Alec and Lydia's case and who they were as children, please go back to that episode. And researching all of the filicide cases that I've been doing now for this podcast and bringing awareness, there is always red flags that have been missed. So we're going to talk about those so that you can see these and not just ignore them. And don't feel bad that you're ignoring them. It's a part of our society to not get involved in situations that we don't belong in. But to protect children, we have to step forward. We have to raise awareness. We have to be that voice for that child that might not have a voice. So the first part is the red flags that are always ignored. One of the hardest truths about filicide cases is that the warning signs are usually always there, but they're missed or dismissed. These red flags can show up as behaviors in parents or caregivers that seem alarming if we pay attention, but often get explained away, like, oh, they're having a bad day, or they're stressed at work, or they just got a divorce, or their parents are sick. We can't explain these things away because these behaviors are usually quite disturbing. Let's look at some common red flags and what they might look like in everyday life so that you can spot them. Sudden mood swings. Mood swings are changes in emotional behavior that are more extreme or frequent than usual, One moment the person might be happy, and then the next they might be upset, sad, or angry. They might be irritable or deeply withdrawn with no clear reason why. For example, a parent who's usually calm becomes explosive over something really small, or who's cheerful in the morning but refuses to talk in the afternoon. For me, I saw this red flag, and that's why I removed myself from my situation. Remember, I told you that living the way I was living was like on a roller coaster with the mood swings, and looking back, remember, hindsight's always 20/20. That was the first of many red flags to come. The next red flag, isolation. Withdrawing from social contact, avoiding friends, family, or support systems. This might look like canceling plans, not answering the phone, or making excuses to be alone. For instance, a mother who was active in a church group stops attending or refuses others for help. Hiding feelings or despair or hopelessness. Escalating erratic behaviors. Erratic behaviors are unpredictable or out of character, actions that worsen over time, like sudden aggression, recklessness, decisions that don't make any sense, neglecting responsibilities, or extreme emotional reactions. Imagine a parent who starts missing work, shouting at her children over minor issues, or showing paranoia. This is a huge red flag that you cannot explain away. Threats of any kind. Threats include verbal or written threats of harm towards oneself or others, including children. Examples might be statements like, "If I can't have them, then no one will." Or overhearing angry, combative behaviors that are dismissed as just frustration or just to cry for help. Remember, we should know this from the research done from suicide cases. But when somebody is threatening suicide, it's not just them asking for attention. It's them asking for help. These red flags are often missed because people don't want to believe someone they love could hurt a child. Mental health is stigmatized still, or warning signs are mistaken for normal stress and behavior. They are not normal. These things I just discussed are not normal. I'm going to review them once again with you. Number 1, sudden mood swings. Pay attention. Isolation. Pay attention. Escalating erratic behavior. Pay attention. Threats. Pay attention. These are all glaring red flags that as someone's loved one, we have to pay attention to. The next thing I want to discuss is mental illness and familicide, what the warning signs are and how they're overlooked. Mental illness is a complex factor in many familicide cases. It's important to remember that most people with mental illness do not hurt their children, but sometimes untreated or severe conditions, especially when combined with stress or isolation, can raise the risk. Warning signs to watch for: severe depression or suicidal thoughts or homicidal thoughts. Paranoia or delusions involving the child or the family. Sudden changes in behavior or personality. Expressing hopelessness or feeling overwhelmed as a parent. These are all red flag risk factors that we have to watch out for. Withdrawal from friends, family, and support systems. These signs can be hidden or mistaken for normal stressors. Recognizing them early and encouraging treatment is a critical safety procedure for them and for everyone that might be involved. It's okay to be hypervigilant and to report something that gets assistance for that individual, even if it turns out to be nothing. It's better to be careful and mindful than to ignore. Ignoring leads to death. That's as plain and simple as I can get it. Ignoring the situation will not make it go away. It will make it worse. Asking other people that they might have interactions with, such as coworkers, people at church, etc. Even if you're separated from that person and you can't have direct contact from them, ask somebody that they have interactions with. I want to let you know that after the situation happened, a coworker of Brock's reached out to me on social media, and I was asking him questions about how Brock was acting just a few weeks before the filicide happened. And he was saying that Brock was very combative at work. Brock was getting into verbal altercations, and he wasn't listening to higher ups. That's not normal, especially for someone that I knew for so long. That wasn't his normal behavior. And so that was a huge red flag for me. However, I didn't know that until after the fact. So I want to make sure that my listeners know that it's okay to ask other people that you might not have normal interaction with on how that person is doing. Ask people at their school, at their work, at the gym, their friends that they might hang out with. People notice behaviors, but they necessarily don't want to say anything, and we have to say something in order to save people's lives. Mental illness is not taken seriously in the courts or the mental health system. Another major issue that severe mental illness is often not taken seriously enough, both in our court systems and even within mental health care itself. This can be a tragic oversight. Symptoms like psychosis, hearing voices, or seeing things, that isn't normal, and that should be taken seriously to the most extreme level. There are often precursors to filicide. Drug or alcohol addiction can be a huge factor. This worsens mental health issues, impairs judgment, and can have erratic ramifications. Changes in belief systems, such as adopting conspiracy theories or rational ideas. This is another major red flag. These shifts can indicate deepening paranoia or a detachment from reality. We have to understand that these people are sick. It's like having a heart attack or having a stroke. We have to understand that mental health is like that. The brain is not functioning normally. I want to let you know that I was doing some research, and it states that they've done research on people that commit suicide and acts of filicide by looking at previous brain scans that have been done. And they can see on live computers where the brain is not firing like it should be. And that is a huge disconnect. And I feel like we use health for heart attacks and strokes and other brain injuries. We should be using those resources to understand mental health issues and how to properly treat them, and not just give medications to somebody and send them out the door. Because I want to let you know that's what's happening. If you go into a mental health facility or a hospital for a 72-hour hold, they get you back to a normal plateau, a normal range. Then they throw a bunch of medications at you, have you sign documents, and they send you on your way. There is no follow-through whatsoever. And if there is, it's up to that patient to make that follow-through. But how is that possible when that patient is sick? That patient needs somebody advocating for them to make sure that they get the proper help and support. It's important that critical cases involving severe psychosis, PTSD, or dramatic changes in belief systems get thorough, ongoing evaluations and support from mental health providers. Mental health crises are real medical emergencies. Unfortunately, when courts or mental health providers overlook these signs or fail to act with urgency, the risk to children and families are increasingly significant. Abuse, domestic violence, and warning signs that could lead to filicide or familicide. Familicide is when that person unalives and kills the whole entire family. So not just the children, not just filicide, but the whole family. Abuse and domestic violence are sadly major factors that can lead to filicide or familicide. Familicide refers to the killing of multiple family members, including children and sometimes spouses, often followed by the perpetrators committing suicide. Both filicide and familicide usually happen after a buildup of violence, control, and an emotional distress. Signs of abuse and domestic violence. Physical abuse, frequent bruises or injuries dismissed as accidents, dismissed as something else. I want to let you know that somebody being abused isn't going to say, oh yeah, my wife or my husband, punched me and gave me a bruise. They're going to lie about it. I've done this. Emotional abuse, constant criticism, humiliation, intimidation, and isolation. I want to let you know the biggest thing, and I'm not blaming any of my listeners. So if you are out there and you know me, this is not a blame on you. This is just something that I've reflected on. But you know what? After everything happened and Brock and I separated, I had so many people coming to me and saying, you know what? That wasn't normal when you went out to eat and Brock made you share a plate. I just didn't say anything. Or I thought that wasn't normal that Brock said this to you. I didn't like how he said that. And it made me in the moment understand that I was in an abusive situation. But if you would have come to me at that time and said something, two things could have happened. One, I could have listened to you. Or two, is most likely, I would have ignored what you said and just continued to be in the relationship. Because, again, we don't want to rock the boat. We don't want to change what our brains are used to. So, definitely emotional abuse, constant criticism, humiliation, intimidation, and isolation. And these things are not just done in private. With severe abusers, these things are out in the open. They don't necessarily care if you hear them humiliating someone. They don't care if you hear them giving criticism. They think that they are higher than everybody else and they are on a pedestal, and nothing you say is going to change their mind as the abuser. Escalation of violence. Increasing frequency and severity of threats or physical violence. Okay? Physical violence does not just happen overnight. It's not a light switch. It's not like somebody wakes up one day and starts, beating their spouse or their girlfriend or boyfriend. It is a slow thing that happens. They might do it once and then not do it again for 6 months. And then it might become more consistent over time. This is something that you as a friend or a family member has to watch out for. A big red flag is when somebody jerks away from you or jumps whenever you touch them. I'm one of those people. I had so many comments saying, "Oh my goodness, I just touched your shoulder or gave you a hug," and I would literally my body would react by pulling away, or I would jump. And that's a reaction inside my body because my body is starting to go in fight or flight mode. And that's something that I couldn't control. It's not like I was like, "Oh, somebody's touching me, let's pull away." It was a involuntary thing that happened. So watch for that. If somebody is always pulling away from you or doing some odd behavior, it's probably a telltale sign that they're being abused. Control and coercion. Restricting access to money, communication, or outside help. Threats of harm or death. Statements like, "If I can't have you, no one will. You won't leave this marriage because if you do, I will kill you." Those are threats that need to be taken seriously. So if you as a friend or family member or someone who is in a relationship right now who is listening to this and hearing these statements, it is not okay. And you need to make a plan, tell someone, and get out safely. Many filicide and familicide cases follow domestic violence cycles, where abusers feel their control slipping due to stressors like separation or custody battles. Abuse is not just physical, emotional, or psychological. Abuse creates dangerous environments that place children at high risk. I want to let you know that if you are being abused, your children are seeing that. They're not safe from not being abused. And coming from someone that was misinformed, I thought that, okay, he's abusing me, but he's not abusing the children. That is not true, because statistics show that if someone's being abused, that abuse, even if it's emotional or psychological, is always transferring over to the children. Warning signs of children who may be in danger. Children who become victims often show signs of distress or danger that aren't always recognized. The warning signs in children: sudden changes in behavior or personality, such as frequent outbursts of anger, frequent unexplained injuries or bruises, fearfulness or withdrawal from caregivers or that specific person. If your child is coming to you all the time and saying, "I don't want to go back to their house," you need to listen. I know it is normal for a child going through a separation case or a divorce case and having to get used to the specific situation of going back and forth to different parents' houses. And saying it once in a while is time for alarm, but not severe alarm. But if they are literally in tears and crying and throwing fits and hiding from you to try to not go to that other person's house, this is a severe red flag that you need to pay attention to, and you need to contact the court or your attorney, and you need to figure out a situation to make sure that that child is safe. If they're expressing anxiety or fear about going to that person's home, pay attention. If they start having changes in school performance or attendance, or if they start having issues with their friends, pay attention. If you see these signs, take them seriously. Children's safety depends on adults noticing and acting. Remember, a child can't do anything. They don't know how to get out of the situation, so they're asking in ways that they know how for help. They might not come out and ask you blatantly for help, but they are showing you signs that are always there that they are in distress and in danger and they need help. In closing, here's your call to action. We all have a role to play in recognizing these warning signs and acting before tragedy strikes. If you or someone you know is struggling, help is available. There's a national domestic violence hotline, a national suicide hotline by calling 988, or you can text that number, a crisis text line as well. Text HOME to the number 741-741. And there is a National Alliance on Mental Illness hotline as well. Please use these resources. They will be listed in the show notes underneath this podcast. Don't hesitate to reach out for help or to check on someone you're worried about. Every life saved starts with someone noticing and acting. Thank you for listening to Voices Against Filicide. If this episode has touched you, please consider subscribing wherever you find your podcast and sharing this message to help others recognize the warning signs and prevent these filicides from happening. Remember, you're not alone. There is hope, there is help, and together we can make a difference. Until next time, I'm Hope Hooton. Keep speaking truth, honoring their lives, and fighting for change. And remember, be kind and always abound in hope.